Okay, so I wanted to be able to talk a little bit about the ethics of a public speaker, and more specifically, some of my personal ethics. First, we're going to look at some of my ethics. We're also going to look at some of my core values, as well as my attitudes, my beliefs. And then in the end, we're going to bring it all together, look at how I can apply this into my life so that I can be a better public speaker. First, I want to look at who I am. I would consider myself firstly as a leader. I would consider myself talented as well as an intelligent individual. I'm also very goal oriented. As far as what shaped me, well, I would say my parents had a large effect on who I am today. I've always been involved with sports, and my dad, he's a musician. My mom is a seamstress, and so I've always been swayed towards having talents, as both my parents have had hobbies. So I myself have picked up various hobbies, and I think that is a big part of who I am today. Some profound moments in my life would one be my mission. About a year ago, I arrived home from a 2-year mission for my church. It was a service mission, and I feel like while I was on my mission, that helped me become the hard worker that I am today, and it helped me become so goal oriented. Some of my core values I also would like to go over. Some of the personal values I have would be one, individuality. I also discussed how it's important to me that I have talents, and it's also very important for me to be uplifting. There was this idea that I liked to look at as I was writing this presentation, and it was, if you were the head of like a company or a store, what would 5 core concepts that you would always want to have be? And the 5 core concepts that I really liked and that came to my mind were authenticity, diversity, innovation, as far as like creative thinking and problem solving goes, integrity, and self-expression. I think it's very important for people to be able to be themselves and to be able to express themselves through some of their talents that they have. We're going to look at some of my attitudes as well. Towards school, well, I personally, I love learning. It's very important for me to get an education. I was looking at a lot of my future goals and my aspirations, and almost all of them require some sort of educational requirements. And so while it isn't cheap, it is a part of my future goals to receive an education. So part of my attitudes towards school is that it's required, but I do love learning. I also, as far as my attitudes go, I always make sure to devote the proper amount of time, the appropriate time towards any tasks, any assignments that I have. And in looking on if I'm an upper or a downer, well, I'd say I try to be an upper for the most part, but there are times in which I do find myself needing support. We're going to look at some of my beliefs. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a religious person, as I served a 2-year mission. And I found that I helped others for those 2 years while I was on my mission. But since I've been back, I found that it's just as hard to live what you preach as it is to preach it. So, I helped people for 2 years try to find their purpose, and now I am trying to find my own purpose. I want to be able to apply this now. Public speakers, they need to be creative. They need to not be boring, and they also need to devote the appropriate amount of time towards the tasks that they have. As far as their ethics go, they need to be truthful. They need to not be deceitful. They need to be confident. And I feel like in the beliefs that I have, or in the ethics that I discussed that I have, I feel like I can apply these to help myself become a better public speaker. Yeah.